Welcome to this week's episode of The Rewind Guys, the show where we talk about movies. This week, I hope you brought your appetites because we're spreading the bob with Sponge on the Run. And it may be your final taste of our crusty commentary. That works, right?
Spreading the bob.
Yeah, spreading the bob. That was your phrase. You coined it in the first SpongeBob.
Yeah. I knew someone
What?
said it at some point.
What? I don't even remember that.
I knew someone said it. I didn't know who it was, though.
That's Russell's tagline.
Oh, is it?
Spreading the bob. Oh.
Spreading the bob.
You
Okay.
to get that.
Just jump to that one.
Just go watch the first SpongeBob episode we have. Where
Links
we
in
talk
the
about,
description.
Yes.
No one's going to do that.
The Rewind Guys.
I'll see that it's disposed of properly.
Who said anything about disposing of? We'll set it again tomorrow.
I like during his intro, I could see your face, and you're like
It was,
waiting for it,
it
waiting
was
for it.
really...
I
It was a long one.
I was making it up as I went along, and I was hoping it worked. And if not, I'll just use whatever Russell said. I wasn't even listening, but I'm sure it's probably better. I know why it was picked, and I know who picked it. But for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, Russell, this is your pick.
Yes.
Why did you pick SpongeBob the movie, Sponge on the Run?
I wanted to watch it, and I'm like, well, let's watch it for the show. And also, I like to do series of movies. Nobody else likes it, but
Whatever do you mean?
it's interesting for me.
All right. Well, that's good. This is your first time watching it,
Yes.
as was it mine, Mike,
Yeah.
Lydia.
My second time.
Ooh, a second timer.
Yeah.
So when he originally picked this, were you excited?
Kinda, because I didn't really remember it from the first time. So I was like, let's refresh.
Okay.
Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Patrick.
Watch you two knuckleheads keep it down out there!
I already have an issue. I was going to wait till the end, but I'm going to bring this up right now because it needs to be heard. And if people don't make it to the end of this episode, don't blame you. I want this to be known. This movie was directed by Tim Hill. Mm-hmm. It was written by Tim Hill. And I hate him. He is an arrogant prick. I'm going to say it.
I don't know who
What?
that is.
Is he
I also-
related to Hank Hill?
No. No.
There was
Here's
no
why I-
propane in this movie.
No.
There were propane accessories. No.
Here's why I have a problem with him. So the credits roll at the end. Guess who gave themselves top billing? Tim Hill. For his voice acting. Tim Hill.
What did he voice act?
I don't even think it's 5 minutes, like 3 minutes as the narrator for the opening of the movie. But he put himself over Tom Kenny, who is he is SpongeBob. He's like the main event. You're watching this movie for SpongeBob, and Tim Hill's just going to be like, yeah, I'm Tim Hill. I'm Tim Hill, bitch. And he's going to put it right at the top.
On top of the hill. Yeah.
King.
Yeah.
Wow,
There you
so
go.
many references.
Let's just get into the movie because it opens up with Finding Nemo. And
Oh. Yeah, it does.
I'm watching this as the first thing I thought of, and it looks good, though. Okay, so if you don't know about Sponge on the Run, it is a completely different animation style.
Yes.
My question about this style is, does this ruin some of the jokes?
Yes, that
Thank
is what
you.
I talked about a little bit before we watched it. I wanted to know if you guys would catch that because that's what I thought. I think it's not as expressive,
No, it's not.
so it doesn't.
It felt lifeless.
Yeah,
I feel like they can't get the facial weirdness that SpongeBob normally brings
Yeah.
with its shows. They also move, I think, at a slower rate. It does it. It's not the same animation, and that's fine. But yeah, it kills. Especially the thing that really made this known for me is when Plankton went into the Krusty Krab to try and steal the Krabby Patty. The one that was going to go on the
Oh.
vintage artisanal
Yeah.
retro menu or something because it was left over. He gets there and all this stuff happens. He is put into the fry press and he is smushed and cut into fry strands into the deep fryer. When this is not in your usual cartoon form, this seems like he should be dead.
I was thinking, that was actually kind of gruesome. Like, as that was happening.
Yes, it gives it a whole new life. And actually, this style almost makes it seem live action in a way.
Good morning, Squidward. And isn't it a lovely morning?
Nope, not talking to you. I'm especially not getting involved in any of your nonsense today. I always end up with the wrong end of the stick.
It's like whatever you're expecting, it's completely different.
You know?
Completely different.
I liked it. I liked the
I
way it
didn't mind
looked.
it.
I think it
just
made
thought it was neat.
the real people seem less awkward and out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can.
Which,
can
I mean,
get behind
that's
that.
a small bonus because they're barely there.
Yes. Yeah. Their cameo, like.
They had a lot of them.
Yeah, but they all kind of went in the same like chunk. It's like SpongeBob, cameos, SpongeBob. It's a cameo sandwich.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing this had a $60 million budget.
Yes.
Does that all go to the cameos?
Probably. I have no idea. And of course, for those of you keeping track at home, this made $4.8 million in the box office. However,
Flopped like a fish.
not necessarily, because it was released August 14th initially in 2020. And I'm thinking, as this has been kind of a reoccurring thing, I think COVID had a lot to do with it, but it's like it was picked up and primarily on Paramount Plus now. So I'm sure somehow or another they made their money. Not to mention this in itself, just throwing this out there, I'm going to say it, this is just an advertisement. This is just a primer for Camp Coral.
Oh.
Yes. Which, by the way, is on
Oh.
Paramount Plus.
I loved you since the first day we met.
Which, I'm going to say this. SpongeBob did not meet Sandy.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
Shocker.
No,
Yeah.
Nope. You're right back to a lot of things being twisted and bent around to work for Nickelodeon.
But, I mean, in SpongeBob, a lot of things don't really make sense.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, underwater water and underwater fires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus a squirrel living underwater.
I was just going to say
in
Sandy
general.
herself. Like,
I did like how fuzzy
Yes.
Sandy looked.
I know.
yeah.
And I like the little scrapes on her helmet thing.
Oh, realism.
Is it a
Didn't even
helmet?
notice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a helmet.
Yeah.
It's a fishbowl.
Space
Fishbowl.
helmet.
Yeah.
A small fishbowl. Same thing.
Yep.
The intro. What?
I was just going to say the camp parts were my absolute least favorite parts.
Yeah, of course.
So the fact that that's the advertisement is
Oh, yeah.
really sad.
Yeah, no,
Like-
the whole thing, in my opinion, is gearing you up for the different animation style and introducing you and kind of pushing you toward Camp Coral, which is just their way of trying to keep SpongeBob going. I don't have a problem with that, per se. But even as their childlike selves, they're not the same. They're not the
No.
same.
Children are just awful, I think is what we're
Yeah.
getting at.
Children, well,
I mean, you've long held that opinion on this show.
children right now.
How did you guys feel about Tumble Reeves?
Loved them.
Yes.
I thought that was great.
That was...
I hated him at
Here's-
first, but he definitely grew on me.
Yeah.
He's the very, very small saving grace of this entire movie. Because at first I'm like, it's kind of dumb. But then he kind of grew on me, especially when he was getting so like annoyed with them and he kind of
Yeah.
blows in. He's like, hey, losers. And he just says it like he's just done with them. He
Yeah.
doesn't care. He's still there to help. But yeah, dude, that was one of only 2 spots I actually chuckled in.
Sage?
Hi, Sage. Hello.
You are real.
I don't know exactly what it was about this scene, but I started laughing.
Yeah.
That was really good. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So as long as we're still on cameos,
Okay.
I did not expect to see Snoop Dogg in a SpongeBob movie.
Yes.
He
I loved it.
He pops up in children's stuff kind of a lot. He was in, I think, Storybots, which is on Netflix. Throwing that out there if anybody wants Storybots.
Never heard of
was he on Yo Gabba Gabba? I don't know. I feel like he's been in a couple other things.
He's been in so much stuff. Let me name one.
Let me name. He's everywhere. Okay.
Hey, yo, SpongeBob, I got a dip. Y'all got this.
Bring the prisoners to my office.
I am scratching the bottom of the barrel today.
Yeah.
Just throwing whatever.
I
out
did
there.
like
Wasn't a very big barrel today.
Otto shows up in the convertible and is like, "Hey guys, I have a gambling problem."
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes, I do like that when they had to go to Atlantis. It was the lost city of Atlantic City. I cannot talk today.
I think that was one of the better parts of the movie, that section, until they got to where they had to defend themselves and they went back to the camp stuff. That was so long of a scene.
Yes. Everybody had a callback on how they met. They all met at Camp Coral.
Yep.
Hint, hint. Watch
Yeah.
the show. Yeah, it was
The
not
rating
good.
just started to plummet right there.
Oh my God. Can we talk about Kelpie G?
Oh yeah.
Yes. He
Yeah.
was great.
He's always good. I'm
Yeah.
glad he's here. Let's get to the Saloon. Is it Inferno? Inferno Saloon, I think is what it was. With Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Okay. His song is good.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but El Diablo is better. The El Diablo theme was the best. I was cracking up at that too. That was funny.
I think I missed that.
Yeah, I think I'm missing what you're talking about. I really, other than Snoop Dogg, I really hated that whole thing. I didn't like the dance. It was just like, no.
That whole scene from The Dream, obviously, so
Yeah.
dreaming being in like Arizona almost is essentially what it was, and they go to the saloon, and then there's Danny Trejo and Snoop Dogg and all this stuff happening. It just seems like let's just put this there.
It was, I didn't-
Everything in this movie felt like, let's just put this there.
Every little bit, like if you really pay attention, almost seems like little skits or chunks that they just kind of manage to just wedge together is really all you're getting. But going back to El Diablo, so I'm not just skimping over this. I can't remember the tune, okay? But it was westerny, and it's just El Diablo, El Diablo, it just
Wow, yeah, I
good.
can see why you like it so much.
That took me back.
Clearly,
That scene.
clearly the best one on the soundtrack, and sadly I remembered it after he started saying it.
Oh no, okay.
I don't know how
That's my
I didn't
ringtone
remember
now.
that.
Actually,
Okay, I'm sure I didn't do it justice, but it is literally somebody repeating El Diablo to a Western backtrack, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Diablo, El Diablo, El Diablo, El Diablo, very bad man.
why wasn't King Poseidon the same as he was in the first one?
Thank
That was
you.
Neptune.
Same people.
Oh,
Same
wait,
people.
wait,
I
wait.
looked it up.
Are you sure about this?
I am positive. I looked it up because I'm like,
You're
maybe
right,
Poseidon's
though.
different. I thought maybe Poseidon's different. But according to what I looked up, Poseidon was Neptune to the Romans. Romans knew Neptune as Poseidon.
Well, maybe they're
Poseidon-
two different guys. Yeah.
Neptune was known to the Romans as Poseidon.
Yeah, but I mean,
But is he known to the Bob as?
I'm not.
Yeah, I think they played it off like they're two different people, and maybe they are. I don't know anything about Greek and Roman mythology, but can't there really only be one king
No.
of the sea? Neptune is king
Not
of the
really.
sea. Poseidon is king of the sea.
No.
What's going on here?
They're-
Maybe he died.
it's different.
Well, because I was thinking maybe Poseidon was like
Died from baldness.
Neptune's son or something.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of.
I don't know. I really wish it just brought back the king. You know, the
Yeah.
regular
I think
king.
they couldn't justify making Neptune be such an asshole.
Well, this guy was kind of an asshole.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think they could justify using that character like that.
Yeah, but wait.
Or he didn't fit the animation
Wasn't King
style.
Neptune an asshole?
Different kind of
Kind of.
asshole.
I just okay. You know what? Here's what happened. They revamped Neptune because I bet you guess who's going to be in Camp Coral? Guessing.
SpongeBob.
Yes, I'm guessing Poseidon. I'm guessing his character is going to be in Camp Coral if he
Is
ever
what, like
makes
a fucking
it.
counselor?
Probably.
Now, is he going to be in it as his like dumpy self?
Well, he's going to be younger now, though.
Right.
Yeah, a
Makes
younger,
sense.
dumpy self.
And
Yeah.
actually, that did kind of justify it slightly to me. That he wasn't the same king, but at the end, he was like, yeah, I am old and bald and all this stuff. So I'm like, it kind of fit a little bit more into the original King Neptune slightly.
Was anyone else disturbed by him rubbing those snails all over his face?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
it
was.
Well, here's the funny part. So I get to the point of the movie where he needs snails for the goo because it's like it's a facial moisturizer.
It's an anti-aging
Yeah,
cream.
exactly. So I'm like, I write on my notes somewhere, I'm like, oh my God, he uses snails for facials. And so then later on, he's like rubbing Gary, like in a not so good place. And it looked weird.
Yeah.
It was unnerving.
Yeah. Why didn't they just like get them and like squeeze the goo out of them or something?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
kind of like how they do with jellyfish.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I did like what they did in this movie that they usually do in SpongeBob, but they didn't do in the second movie, which is they put a lot of like adult humor hidden around.
Yes.
In the second one, it was like this movie is for 5-year-olds and that's it.
Yes.
This one was a family movie again, and I thought that was nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
it brought it back more to SpongeBob-ish.
Yeah, they did. It was more for the whole
Yeah.
family.
I mean, there's gambling, and obviously SpongeBob's getting super drunk. And
oh yeah, which that threw me for a loop for like a moment when what did you call Keanu Reeves' character?
Tumble Reeves.
Tumble Reeves. When Tumble Reeves shows back up after their night of debauchery and is all like, what did he say? Something about how like they're passed out in their own vomit? And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God. And he's like, then Patrick tastes it and he's like, it's drool. And I'm like, okay, they brought it back down. But I was
Yeah.
like, dang.
I know.
Do you think Sponge on the Run is a good title for this? Was he, I mean, aside from the end 3 minutes, he was never on the run
I mean, he was a criminal.
for
Yeah.
3 minutes. Maybe.
It's longer than that.
Okay,
It
but if
seemed
he's,
longer
if he's a
than
criminal, even, okay, let's say he was a criminal for the last 10 minutes, which is being very generous, I feel. He was only on the run for the last 3 of those minutes. Sponge on the Run. I think it's a horrible
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a horrible name, but it doesn't really work great. And they should have had that song. They should have had that song, but changed it like Sponge on the Run.
The Sponge on the Run scene of the movie, the 3 minutes of running Sponge that you get, is really good. I love when they're in the suit of armor. And
I like when just Squidward's in the suit of armor and it does like the Exorcist move at the
oh, that's exactly what I'm getting to though, because like when his head turns around, I'm like, that's kind of creepy. I'm thinking for kids, right? And then when his spider crawls back, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like that was something that kind of shocked me. That was a good scene. And then it all dies down. So, anchovies. The anchovy guards.
The eyeballs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially like when the ones go up against the suit of armor, it's like ting, 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 ting. Best. They're the best character of the entire movie. Hands down.
I really like Lamont. Just really his name. And how Tiffany was like, I love me some Lamont.
I know.
Yes.
She's like,
Yeah. They spice things up for the adults.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lamont. Ooh, I love me some Lamont.
Oh man. And as we learn, as every SpongeBob episode ever, right? The Krusty Krab, hell, even Bikini Bottom
yeah.
would not be what it is without SpongeBob.
Yep.
It would all go to hell.
Everyone
But he feeds
hates
them all.
him,
Yes.
but he's the only reason for life. I know, right?
I love how like excited I got about that. Yes, no, you're right. Everybody hates this guy, but nobody can live without him.
Could you imagine what our lives would be like without SpongeBob?
Well,
Let's all just think about that for a minute. And just,
this marginally could be a better episode.
that's true.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I said marginally, okay?
If it wasn't this, it'd be some 80s Swamp Thing movie that nobody
Yes.
wants to see.
Oh, yeah. Everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants to see it. I want to see it.
You want to see that swamp thing?
Take a bite out of the swamp thing.
Love me
that-
some Lamont.
Oh, my God. All right, yeah. Apparently, one of my top notes here is Sponge on Trial. Because I hate it. I hated like every minute of that.
Yeah, it
Yes.
wasn't great until the song part was.
I
pretty
didn't
good.
even like the song either. I was just
Actually,
like,
the song was
let's
the
be
worst part to
done.
me.
Yeah.
I thought the song was fine.
Yeah, because that's how they elude
Yeah.
Poseidon.
I liked the fact that they eluded him that way.
Yeah,
but I
I
didn't
thought
like
that
the
was
song.
Yeah, no, it was clever and it worked because they're like, da-da-da-da-da-da, boop, and they're out the door. Okay?
Yeah.
Everything's great. I'm on board.
Yeah, I think they could have cut out the everybody saying, "Oh, I met SpongeBob at Camp Coral," and just had the song and dance routine, and then just moved on.
But
I like that. That was
then,
fine.
because here's the thing, right? It's a twofer. They get to make a movie and an advertisement in one budget. They're saving
Normally,
here, you know?
I love
Yeah,
a good
savings.
twofer, but not this time. And that is a true
I'm
story.
not sure what that means.
Yeah, I'm a little.
Can you elaborate if it's
You'll
family
buy
friendly?
one, get one, like a
Oh.
twofer.
That's a BOGO.
I call it a twofer. Or a
It's a
two,
BOGO.
it's a two for one. It's the whole thing. A twofer when you get more than one thing.
Twofers make me think of several things. One of them being teeth.
No, yeah.
You know,
Makes him think of two things.
Yeah. Another thing is like,
No, that's not what I meant.
they're-
I never mean it like
But
that.
yeah,
Now
they're
that's all I'm going to
saving-
think of.
Their savings of $60 million.
Yes. Yeah, because it's like, hey, we could put a lot of millions into this movie and then a lot of millions into advertising, or we could just put the millions into this movie.
I mean, clearly they should have done it into advertising. I'd never even heard of Camp Coral.
yeah, I haven't heard of it until this movie. So-
Well, do either of you own Paramount Plus?
Yeah, I do. That's all.
All right, well-
Yep.
I've never heard of that till this movie either.
Sorry about that.
Paramount Plus kind of sucks.
Brought to you by Paramount Plus. It
Sponsor
kind of
us.
sucks. What?
This is sponsor us.
Oh, crap. I
We
should've
just
said
said it sucks a little bit. Cut that out.
Sponsor us and we'll say good things.
We have no shame.
Wait, what? Friends like these? Of course I have friends like these. I have all kinds of friends. I have buddies. I have besties.
The whole
I have
depressing
home
tone of
slices.
this movie was really weird to me. Like every single other scene felt like it was just someone crying or being sad, and then a weird joke, and then back to being sad. I don't know. It was just my whole movie felt like a downer.
Felt like life,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
True.
I think what they're trying to get at is even at your lowest of lows.
Remember Camp Coral?
Yes.
Watch Camp Coral.
Oh, yeah.
Paramount Plus.
Not that great.
Not that great, but
Good enough.
we sponsor them, so
We're still
We don't-
paying
we don't
for it.
really-
Oh,
sponsor
that's so good. No, I think that even at your lowest of lows, there's always going to be somebody there, more than likely your friend, to lift you up,
Unless
to
you have no
raise your
friends.
spirits.
then you have to
yeah.
lift yourself up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much like a Poseidon in that case. I have
Cute.
many friends.
Your hair's fake and you have a big gut.
Yes. Yeah, SpongeBob is a crazy.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
SpongeBob is a crazy cat lady at the end.
Yeah.
Bikini Bottom is a snail refuge. Snails are everywhere. This is a great place now. And my last note, again, fuck you, Tim Hill. That's all I got. That is all I got. It's time for final thoughts and ratings.
I did the hook this time.
I did. I am going first because I just want to be done. Lydia, you had a lot to do with the change in my rating. I was going to probably originally come in at about 4.5, maybe 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There were very few parts that snagged me, and I don't know what it was because part of me felt like I did enjoy this a little bit more than the second one, which was Sponge Out of Water. But I thought this one seemed longer. So I don't know. I'm sorry. But because I gave that one a 5.5, and this did have some funny parts. I had to come in a little higher, and I gave it. Yep. That was not a 9. It is a 6. I'm giving it a 6. Look, it's okay. I kind of want to give it middle of the road because like I could take it or leave it, but it did have a couple of parts that were laughable, and I did like that again because even though it's like animation, it did give me a live action feel, and that was kind of cool. But that's all I got. I'm giving it a 6, and I'm being generous. Mike, what are you gonna give Sponge on the Run?
So the animation didn't bother me at all. Actually, after just like 10 minutes of it, it became normal. So I didn't think anything of it. But the movie itself was lifeless, and now that I know it's an advertisement, I'm sticking with my 4. It barely deserves.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Wow.
I think that's fair. I think it's fair. I'm gonna save. We'll end on a good note. We'll go Lydia last. Russell, what are you gonna give Sponge on the Run?
You know? First one's great.
Yeah.
Second one's hate. This one is a 7. Should have been an 8.
It's an L.
Which
it
would have
deserves the
rhymed
L.
so much better. Put it on L.
A 7?
I thought it was good. You know, it's not. It's like a new SpongeBob.
Yes.
It's like a new
Yeah.
take on SpongeBob, and I was fine with it.
Yeah, purposefully done to revamp it into Camp Coral on Paramount Plus.
Just ignore that part.
Yeah, you know, I didn't think of that part at all until you brought it up,
Uh-huh.
which makes me kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
But all in all, it was much better than the second one.
Debatable.
It brought me back to original SpongeBob more with his
Yeah,
jokes
I
and
do
whatnot.
agree with that.
He forming into things all the time, and it wasn't so musically and friendship. You know what I mean? It was good. I gave it an 8.
Oh, too
weird
high.
8.
Too high.
I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't my most favorite, and there was some lulls, but I thought it
Yeah.
brought it back to original SpongeBob.
SpongeBob 2, I would not watch that again.
No.
No.
SpongeBob 3, I would watch it again. And I think it's one of those movies where if you watch it a few more times, you'll start to love it more.
Yeah.
I think it's
Maybe.
there. I think it's in there.
I wouldn't mind. I seriously would not mind putting this one on again. I'm not going to go out of my way to do it, but I totally will agree. It is better than the second one. I would watch this again, so fair enough.
I think if I hadn't watched all 3 in a row, I probably would have given it a much higher rating.
Fair enough.
He's over SpongeBob, is what he's
yeah,
saying.
Yeah.
by this point, he's like,
Yeah.
fuck.
I think we all kind of are. Here's the
Well,
thing. I love
SpongeBob 2 got a
SpongeBob.
higher, it only got a 5.5 for being SpongeBob. And this one is
Yeah.
you know what? You already got your free rating.
Okay. Yeah, no, here's the deal. I am over SpongeBob movies. Series is where it's at. I'm sorry, it just
Yeah.
is.
All right. The next episode, Camp Coral.
Oh, no. Lydia gives it an 8. Russell gives it a 7. I give it a 6. Mike coming in low with a 4. But you
Right.
know what? I can totally see it. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
Watch it on Paramount Plus. All right, that brings us to the end of this week's episode. Be sure to join us next week where it's going to be my pick and the start of our October and Halloween shenanigans. Which we're going to be spinning a wheel here momentarily. We're going to find out what our category is, and the movies we pick must be horror movies and have to do, in part or in full, I don't care what you want to do, of the theme that you get.
Depending on the theme, it might be just squeaked in there barely. Just a squeak.
No, you gotta play by the rules. No squeaking. It has to be. Here's the thing. It has to be noticeable. If we watch the movie and you have to explain your theme, you have failed.
That's okay. Someone has to fail.
Oh, God.
I'm just going to connect to it. All right, you're not even connected. Just
Oh, what?
keep
Why
fucking
Like
going.
Russell. He's a wizard.
Look alive, people.
This is gonna be really tough
I don't know how I'm capable of doing that.
Yeah. This is going to be so difficult. I have never in my life been nervous for really any of these episodes.
That is not true.
This week, I hope you brought your appetites because I don't know what to say right here. I figured something might spark. I know why it was picked, and I hope I know. This is a shit show.
What song made for the movie?
I don't know the opening song.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Livin' La Vida Loca. I'm like, they didn't make that for the movie.
They didn't know they did, but they did.
Oh yeah.
They did. They did. Every time you say the show where we talk about movies, I want to say boobies when you say movie.
I think the same thing.
Makes me think of that Richard Cheese song.
Yeah.
If you want to know what Mike's talking about, go to our Barb and Star episode.
You mean Bob and Star?
Okay, I'm gonna look while you're doing that then. SpongeBob dark animation.
It's very uncomfortable. Everyone else is fine with it.
Oh, did it go?